Hi, I'm Rick Tobin from Lauderdale by the Sea Happenings and Premier Hotel Realty, and talking to a gentleman whose family was a piece of history of the Lauderdale by the Sea area. And we're just going to talk about maybe some memories and some things that Frank Myatt either knew or heard about or saw in his childhood. Frank, let me let you introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Frank Myatt Jr., and my father was Frank Myatt Sr., who was partners with Everett Soronson, and they were the ones that put the pier together, bought the old pier, and built the pier that's there today. My grandmother, Alice Lord, had Lord's Realty, and that was right next to the pier parking lot at the time. And that's where the Mulligan's restaurant is at today. But it was a different building. And when they built the building that's there today, they moved her real estate office, which is like a cottage, down on A1A, just kind of patty corner to the, used to be 7-Eleven. I'm not sure the name of the convenience store that's there today. But right next door to it, there's an old cottage, and that was the original Lord's Realty, right on the corner. And my father went to work for her, selling real estate, and then he got involved and met Everett Soronson, and they bought the old fishing pier and tore it down and built the one that's there today. And they bought. They built the Seacliff Motel, which I still have. Everett and my dad built it together, or had it built, and it's still there today.
Wonderful. And I know you grew up, you mentioned to me, you really grew up in the Miami area, but you visited Lauderdale by the Sea a lot. Did you do some fishing on the pier in your childhood?
Yeah, used to do some fishing. Just enjoyed being out there. It was a lot of fun, and it was something to look forward to.
So that will put me in a time frame maybe of the years that you originally were in the Lauderdale by the Sea area. When are we talking about?
Well, I was born, back in the 50s, so I was, and went up to see my father on weekends. And just got in to see my grandmother, and she lived down on the Gulf Ocean Mile at the Ocean Manor Hotel. And I'd come up on weekends and see them. Got to do a little swimming, a little fishing. Really enjoyed it.
So I was born in the late 50s myself, and I remember the South Florida area when few places had air conditioning. So was everything air conditioned? Was it a tourist town then, or very seasonal?
Like I say, I wasn't up there that much in Lauderdale by the Sea, but I'm sure it was pretty warm, and I don't know if everybody had air conditioners the way they do today.
I remember back then, before they did as much as they've done in the Everglades. I think the mosquito was the state bird back then.
Right.
Well, wonderful. You have any other fond memories of people or places that changed hands? I guess Aruba's was that called the Wharf at one time?
It used to be the Wharf, and right next door to it was Murphy's restaurant. And we used to go, there used to be a little alleyway between them right next to the parking lot. We'd go there at lunchtime, and I think they served hamburgers for like 1 hour only. And all you could get is hamburgers, Coke, and French fries. But they had the best Murphy's burger, they called it. It was the best hamburger I've ever eaten anywhere. So, and they'd have a line of people just waiting to get the Murphy burgers.
Interesting. I think one of your relatives, Chris Myatt.
Yeah, that's my son.
Okay, he posted some pictures and people were talking about fond memories of those Murphy's burgers in the comments section.
Oh, I'll tell you, I missed that.
And the t-shirt shop, that's where Mulligan's is now. Scotty's. Do you remember?
Used to be Scott Drugs. At that corner was Scott Drugs, a drugstore. And there was a Bressler's ice cream parlor right next to it, just a real small, and that was right up against the parking lot of the fishing pier.
I guess that was the predecessor of all the ice cream places. I think there's about 10 ice cream places in Lauderdale by the Sea now.
I think they were the first ones.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Any other stories or any other fond memories that you'd like to share?
I remember we had a hurricane coming one time, and the waves were hitting this, and I was pretty little, but the waves were hitting underneath the pier, and my dad had the doors. He had like towels underneath the doors, trying to keep the wind and the rain from coming inside the tackle shop. And as a kid, I didn't know. I just went out, opened the door up, and it blew everything in. And he wasn't too happy, needless to say. But after this last hurricane, it was nothing like that.
Yeah, so the last hurricane, if somebody's watching this several years from now, we're talking about Nicole, that did some damage, took out a section of the pier. And what you were talking about, way before impact windows, everybody had jalousie windows in so many places to catch that airflow.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
the world's a different place. And growing up, were you around Seacliff, the Seacliff Hotel much?
Not a whole lot. I would go up there, on weekends, but it was built in '69, I believe. So this was, I was getting a little older then.
Okay, and back then, a lot of places were apartments off season, and then in hotels they transitioned. Was Seacliff always a hotel?
It was, yeah.
Okay,
Always been a hotel.
all right. So I guess unless you have anything else, that's a wrap. And of course, if somebody wants to stay at Seacliff, it's still there, and they can call up and get a reservation or find it online and get there. And Frank Myatt, I appreciate your time.
Well, we thank you, Rick. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. Stop. Sure you want to stop.